What's going on, everybody? Brett here. We're back playing some more Battle Brothers on the Beast and Exploration DLC, and my voice chooses that exact moment to start like croaking like a frog. But anyway, guys, check it out. Killing some scrat. So basically just for a quest. As I mentioned in the previous episode, excuse me, I'm trying to level us up, right? I'm trying to grind so that we can take on the Black Monolith. I didn't want to spend too many more episodes of this playthrough doing content that you guys have seen me do like a million times. Scrat Fight's pretty cool though, so I was like, yeah, you know what, bring them in on the tail end of this, and we'll see how it goes. You'll see here I've got my back line. I just instantly whipped out long axes as soon as the battle started. I've been leveling up our two newer brothers, our two Willems, who I really don't even have the heart to change anymore, because it's kind of hilarious to me that both a pimp and a nobleman have the exact same name. But anyway, so I've done a ton of stuff off camera, and I want to go over that with you. I also found a legendary location that I didn't even know existed, and I discovered it. I wish I had discovered it on camera. That would have been cooler probably, but at least I know it's there, and we're going to go check that place out. I also discovered the Spires, the thing that I've kind of been looking for a long time, one of the legendary locations that I did know about that I just hadn't found yet. And in my vast explorings that I've been doing, I was able to find it. So I've been picking fights with warlords, taking on huge camps, trying to get as much, rare loot as possible. And we'll go over in a second. I'm sure if you're, familiar with our party, you can already see some of the things that are new. So let's go ahead. He grew his thing back. Okay. The scrats are so frustrating. And we don't have enough fatigue yet to split shields, so we just need to hit them, I guess. Get our heavy hitters on him. There were 5. It wasn't a huge group or anything. But here we go. Steezy's actually pretty invaluable with his fighting axe. He, like we have... like Ivar, probably should have brought Ivar in on this fight, seriously. But he has an axe that can split shields, but having the ability to hit this thing twice and to split the shield pretty much every time Steezy attacks it was pretty important for me to easily take this fight. So we got a nice kind of diverse bit of... Ooh, no, we don't want to step forward. I don't know why I did that. Ragnar's actually in a pretty bad way here. Got a nice diverse set of crafting materials. And this is part of a quest too, so we're getting paid to collect these crafting materials is kind of how I look at it. I've also killed lindworms very recently, and do I want to step in? I think so. Apply that overwhelm, I think is the most important thing. Let's break his shield and start hitting him. There we go. And there's no space around him, so he can't make a little sapperling guy. No levels? Okay. So we got another Heart of the Forest, which is I think their rarest drop, and some ancient wood and glowing resin. So fighting the lindworms, I was able to get another set of lindworm scales and 3 lindworm bones, which I think you can use to make more bone platings. So I think we can make 2 more bone platings. You combine 1 lindworm bone with 1 giant skull and bones, and instead of combining 3 giant skull and bones. So it's a bit cheaper on that. But these are, of course, obviously more rare, and they're also more expensive. But the lindworm scale, we'll get to a taxidermist in just a second. I'm kind of hanging around Friedewald to do just that. So take a second to read that if you'd like. We're going to finish this up, and then as we travel, I guess I'm going to go over all the different things that have happened. A couple of lumberjacks saw you in battle with them and told me the tale already. I had not thought the scrats entirely real. Deadly trees seem like a superstition for children. But I suppose I've things to learn yet. Good work, Sellsword. They paid us pretty well to do that, and there was a lot of value in that battle. We do need to repair up pretty severely. Our supplies are pretty amazing right now. I've been kind of stocking up to make sure that we're good to go. I want at least 10 days worth, because we're going to have to go pretty far out into the wilderness to visit the legendary locations that I found. And one of which I told you was a spire, but the other of which is, I think, called the Grotesque tree. something I've never seen before, and it looks pretty awesome. So we're going to make our way there. So look here, we can make the bone platings using one of the lindworm bones, and I think we're going to make one of those. We can make a fermented unhold heart, which will help us in our traveling. Great material. Great material. Great food. Great provisions is the word I was looking for. Also might want to make a large quiver of arrows too while I'm here. Okay, so check this out. We now have the option to make two things. The lindworm shield, which we don't have, and the lindworm scale cloak, which we have one of, and we're not even using it because we haven't got the kind of the right set of armor to put it on. So this is plus 40 with only -2 maximum fatigue, but also protects you from lindworm blood. It's so good. So it's extremely tempting to make that, especially because even off camera I've gotten even more shields, guys. I have so many dang shields. I don't. If I made this shield, it would be like the last shield I needed, I'm pretty sure. I wish I had more scales than bones, but I actually just have a ton of bones. I would love to make another lindworm scale cloak. We also can now make the living tree shield, and also I see that we can make one of these trophy necklaces. Let's craft that. We have a brother or two that needs one of those. Poisoned oil. Don't hate that. I also just like the idea of unlocking some of these recipes for things we've never made before. I kind of want to make a living tree shield, but if I remember right, they're not that strong. Yeah, they're kind of middle of the road. They're kind of, yeah, I mean, they have good durability. I kind of want to make one just to make one, you know? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to make a large quiver of arrows. And I think we're going to give that to Wolfgang so that he doesn't have to switch and reload as often. I kind of want to make a light padding replacement. But we just have so many augmentations that are better. And right now, I'm going to check out this shield. Let's see how strong it is. So, this sturdy shield fashioned from the shimmering scales of a lindworm makes for protection nigh indestructible. So, really great durability on this. And it looks awesome. I mean, that you can't deny that. Plus 17 melee defense, plus 25 range defense. You know what, let's just pull the trigger. I'm going to make it. No big deal. And like I said, I kind of just want to make this living tree shield just to have made it. And I did want to make another one of the bone platings. So let's do that. We can also make another one if we wanted to. Yeah, let's do this as well. So we've unlocked the recipes. And we can go into our inventory. And now's a pretty good time to go over some of the fat loot that we've gotten. As someone in the, the comment section was alluding to, our fat loot. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of fat loot. Check out Hondo. So Hondo picked up the glorious Lindworm's head. This helmet must have once belonged to a daring and skilled hunter, for it is covered in the scales of a dreaded Lindworm. Not only do the scales deflect blows and hits, but they also remain unscathed by the acidic Lindworm blood. Very cool. We also picked up Walter the Spider's greatsword. So this greatsword is a true masterpiece, with a blade that is both flexible, yet extremely durable. And I think the big thing about this is that it has a plus 10% chance to hit head, and I think it has 6 less maximum fatigue, which now Hondo's in the 97s, thanks to that. And this is a great helmet as well. So he's pretty kitted out. I like to see that. Steezy, I don't think has anything. We put him in for the Scrat fight, and because Sir Willem is pretty well injured. So Sir Chris is still rocking his stuff. That's good. You guys know about this stuff. So here's a new shield, the Battle Forged Fortress, which has really good stats, really high melee defense. A reinforced wooden heater shield made from the finest materials and quite obviously crafted by a master shield maker. So not the best durability compared to something like the Lindworm shield, but I thought it looked pretty cool on Aracel Darkar, aka the Phoenix. And we've moved some helmets around because we've gotten so many helmets. Check this out. So I was playing with this, right? Having a Kraken shield, the Kraken shield is minus 15 fatigue. That obviously messes with his initiative. It messes with his fatigue, which also messes with his initiative. So it gives him a little less chance to dodge from dodge, and also makes his nimble a bit worse. So it makes these two abilities a tiny bit worse. But it also makes Duelist pretty bad. But in fights where I've needed him to survive, the Kraken shield has been pretty amazing. So it's nice to have this extra 25% damage, but if I'm relying on, let's say I'm going into the Black Monolith fight, the majority of the damage that this sword does was going to be through its lightning, directly bypassing their armor and hitting their HP. So using the shield, I think this plus 24/24 is giving me way higher stats than, you know, the little bit that I'm losing from dodge and the little bit that I'm losing from nimble. So that's my thought process. I haven't sat down and done the exact math, but I have to imagine that that is correct. But in a normal fight where I'm using him as a lone wolf brother and I need him to dodge and I need him to, you know, avoid as many attacks as possible, and I'm counting on, let's say, the actual damage of the sword to hit, which is very powerful. I mean, it's still a 50-55 with an extra 25% from Duelist. I mean, that's pretty heavy damage. What is that? An extra, almost like an extra 15 damage, something like that on top of it. It almost makes this as powerful as a great sword, something like that. It's very close. So it's just a matter of, do I want him to survive better or do I want him to do more damage with the sword as opposed to just the lightning? So I think this is a pretty cool choice and a pretty good option for him. Who else got some good stuff? We got another wolf hat. I think that's worth mentioning. And that's on our buddy Wilhelm the Pimp here. I think I went over, we got the Heritage Ribbon Saleh. Pretty much making Ragnar very well kitted out. What else? You guys have seen the mace and the extra helmet. I picked up at least one of these. I know I showed that I grabbed another one off camera, but I think I got another one as well. Okay, that's all organized. Yes, I did. So now I have 3 of them. I have one on Oswald, which is great because he's going to be a kind of light armor duelist. And I had one on, obviously, Sir Steinhardt. Where's my other one? Oh yeah, I put it on Oz, so that was confusing me. They're right next to each other. I put it on Oz, who, you know, has his maimed foot. I felt like lowering his, the weight of his armor. I was also able to move that heavy armor to someone else, but lowering the weight of his armor is going to help him with his initiative, and, you know, I thought that was a pretty good choice. I still think it is. So anything else? Y'all saw this shield in the last one. Like I said, I got another wolf hat because God forbid I don't have like 10 wolf hats. I'm not even complaining. The wolf hats have been awesome. Let's put this back. We made that quiver. We need to give this quiver here. Boom. Raymond, bring him back to the outside. Give him back his awesome weapon. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so we have some injuries. We need to take care of that. Let's pull him out, and for a while we can bring back in Oz. I think that's fine. Who else is really injured? They're all kind of really injured. We can rock a smaller back line. That's no problem, and just go wide. That works for me. I would like to put Sir Willem back in, but that's okay. Alright, let's see who gets this Lindworm shield, shall we? So Steezy here is using, let's also check out the stats. We can compare them, which I think is pretty important. So 48, 15, 25, 16 versus 64. That's a huge increase. Plus 2 melee defense, that's huge. The same range defense, and then minus 2 maximum fatigue. So just a strictly better in almost every way kite shield. And this is just, you know, basically a heater shield. Very light, very lightweight. Might almost be better on like Sir Steinhardt, just because it's that little bit extra lighter. But this Kraken shield is ridiculous in terms of its stats. It also looks amazing with his with his horn plate, and I'm all about the style points. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the living shield to Steezy, and that's because he has like the worst fatigue in our party, and I think that's cool. Yeah, so now we have Yaku and Scaredy. I think we're going to... It's such a good shield. We're going to give that to him. That's fine. Nope, not fine. Perhaps not fine. Let's check it out compared to this. So Sir Chris has been using that shield for a long time, and I like it because it makes him look kind of heavy metal. But this could also be good. They're pretty similar, but I like giving him that. And let's give Scaredy that heater shield. Okay, so we found homes for everyone. And now, while I'm kind of thinking about it, I want to go over some of the events that happened. Some pretty ridiculous ones. I can make another living tree shield. I don't need to do that. All that. That's a little ridiculous. I'm going to hold on to the bones in case I get another set of scales and I want to make another shield. And I don't think I need any of this. I want to buy one set of tools. Okay. Maybe they want me to travel. They want me to kill more. Okay. Yeah, no thanks. So this is the deal, guys. This is where I found the Spire. So hopefully you don't mind the long introduction. But the reason I hadn't found it was there was a tiny gray area here where I hadn't explored in the middle of the map. And boom, there it is. The ancient Spire was nestled in between some mountains. And normally you don't go up into like random tiny mountain ranges because it drains your supplies. So this whole time I could have had it reveal a huge area for me, and I just kind of missed out on that. So we'll get some drinks. We'll check out the quest because for all we know they're going to pay us to do some things that we want to do anyway. This is a lot of crowns, but it's way up north, I believe. 5K. It says south of Horngard. Horngard, if you remember, is way up here. It's probably here. Like I said, if you remember, there were tons and tons of like war camps out here. And out here and out here and down here. I pretty much explored the tip of this. I came down here and down here. I went all the way up the side. I went all the way across the top. The last places that I haven't explored are kind of here-ish. And I would like to do that before I end this playthrough, that's for sure. So, I killed a lot of warlords, and that's where I got a lot of my best loot. Check out these other ones. A rare coin collection. We'll take that. Just an easy little little fight for us while I talk and, you know, we go over some things. There were some really cool events that happened off camera, unfortunately. Should be pretty easy for us. Alright. One of the big things, which I couldn't even believe, I didn't even know this was possible, a really cool event that I wish I had gotten on camera, and I'm pretty sorry that I didn't. Flippin' Yaku the Monk. One of our brothers, honestly, with the worst stats in our whole squad. But Yaku has been extremely useful in almost every single event that has taken place. Having a monk has been huge for us. He's done a lot of good things. I think he taught Ragnar to be learned. He, oh man, he did so much stuff. He got us Willem, the pimp. He got him to join our party by convincing him that kind of life wasn't for him. What else did he's done so much. He was an amazing, like having that pimp, that monk background came up huge for us so many times. And now there was an event where he basically went into a tent with Ragnar, and Ragnar convinced him to become a flippin' flagellant. I've never even heard of such a thing. So he lost being a monk and became a flagellant. So now we don't even have a monk. Since then, he's also had two different, what do you call that? Two different events around him. One of which he was happier and he increased his resolve, I think, by 2. And then another one where he, what happened? He just kind of like had some kind of epiphany or something, and he gave himself like +5 hit points. Very cool events, and I'm happy to see, you know, him getting a stat increase. But I really was loving his background. His background was one of the reasons I've kept him around for so long. And now I just have a whole company of flagellants, which is kind of ridiculous. So that was one of the big things. What else? What's some of the other events? There were some pretty cool ones. But that was probably the biggest change in terms of like our party's composition. But yeah, man, poor Yaku. He was just living that monk life, minding his own business. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. It says it in his bio when you read it, which is a nice touch. so you don't kind of forget what he used to be and what he was. This is such an easy fight. This is just for a little bit of crowns, a little bit of experience on some of our brothers who are in here. The experience has been huge for us, and if you remember from, maybe the last video, and probably the video before that as well, we are well on our way to getting that invincible renown ranking, which is important for our current ambition. So we're pretty close to that. Like I said, I've done a lot of fighting off camera, so let's say it's over. Take that loot, and it's also allowed me to get our gold in quite a nice place. So let's check out our renown. As soon as we turn in this quest, we'll check it out, and then we can look at Yaku's background to see how it is. Yeah, we're not going to hang out here forever. We're trying to make our way to the Spire so you guys can see the interaction with that. Alright, here goes our renown. Legendary, 7,840. So, we started, when I first picked it up, I think we were like 7,200, something like that. And, yeah, so we've come a long way. And we're going to head to the Spire. There's really nothing for it to reveal, so you're not going to get the full effect of it. But I think in previous playthroughs that I've done, I found the Spire pretty early. And if you find it, like, let's say I had found this pretty early, hadn't explored any of this, it gives you this huge area. I forget exactly how big it is, but it's something like this, I believe, and it reveals it. I think it shows you all the current, like, hideouts and things, but it doesn't, like, continuously update. So, like, it's not going to constantly show me, I don't believe, everything that's here. Let's check out our brothers and see who still is injured. Yeah, we still have some pretty severe injuries, especially on Ragnar. And going into these mountains is taking a bit of a toll on us. I'm considering taking this fight. Like I said, today's just going to be leveling up. We're just trying to level our gear and our brothers and make our way over to the Grotesque tree. And then probably head back. I'll probably do that on camera, off camera, and sell and do all those things that we need to do to get ready. And then I think it'll be next episode that we'll try at least to take on the Black Monolith. I think I had a nightmare about it the other day, where like I went into the Black Monolith fight and it was like 96, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. But that was a nightmare. It wasn't real. It's just a pain to fight goblins without my range superiority. Is the only reason I kind of hesitate. A lot of my archers are hurt, so we're gonna have to advance. I mean, they only have four ambushers, which is not a lot for them. Move forward. Yeah, you got to expect the nets, and then out come the bolas. They start throwing them at you. Get Willem in there. What can we kill? Ooh, that was good. Just get the kills we can, and we'll move up together. I'm really not that worried about their ranged firepower. It's pretty weak. Just get in there on them. And I would love to lock down the Overseer if I can. It's not always easy to do. Let's switch with Sir Varandox. I don't anticipate wanting to throw any weapons. There we go. And they're making a nice little like flank denial here, and they're keeping the Overseer safe. So I'd say our biggest thing right now that we need before we go into the Black Monolith is definitely better armor on some of our brothers. I don't like that we're still wearing so much Lamellar. I think the Sellsword's armor is fine. It's, with the right augmentations, it's a pretty powerful piece of armor without weighing us down completely. But I'm not saying we need like full coat of plates. I'm wishing we actually had something better than coat of plates. Some of the, you know, the more unique armors. He's just gonna keep backing up. Here we go, we're about to get shanked. Nice. Take an aim shot. Perfect. Getting a bit lucky with those, but I'll take it. Get smashed. Okay, now we need to break ourselves free. We'll break Hondo free as well. Aim shot. Wow, that's beautiful. Let us break free. Move forward, Steezy. Love to tie them down, but I don't know if we'll be able to. We have dogs, but I've lost a few of them in battles with warlords. Yep, here they go. He's just gonna be gone. God dang it. I mean, we've killed a ton of them, but if there's something, you know, we really want to kill the Overseer to try and get the best loot we can. The crossbows are super valuable, the Impalers. I never hate having like an extra one in my inventory. Okay, Steezy has a dog. I mean, that ties them down. As long as they don't use footwork. They could also very easily kill our dog. But not when there's two of them. Yeah, there's one dog down. Okay, it may be... I mean, if we get the Impaler, it's definitely worth losing a dog. Even an armored war dog. Which is sad to say. But I do hate losing them, because they're kind of a resource that we really want to hold on to. For more important upcoming fights. Now we're in it. Hondo's new sword has been absolutely awesome. I've noticed a lot more like decapitations because of its increased chance to hit head. And it's one of those things like, man, if I knew he was going to end up with a weapon like that, we could have given him something like Headhunter and given him a huge percentage chance to hit head, which is just a generally more effective way to damage enemies. Killed 2 dogs. Boy, I'm going to mess you up for that. This is why nobody likes goblins. Even like the Harry Potter goblins suck. Full-bodied shot with a great sword. And now you're not going anywhere. Easy. There we go. A little too quick of a death, and then we didn't even get anything good. Lame. But we did increase our renown, which generally is important, and our levels, which is generally important. Okay, let's get to the Spire. Let's take a look at the model here. It's pretty cool looking. It's just kind of like a watchtower with kind of a winding stairs. It says, a thin spire reaching high into the sky. The view from the top must be staggering. I'm just so sad that we can't, like, actually show its effective range. The spire is twice as tall as any castle you've seen, and narrower than any tower. It is as though someone had all the material to build a fortress, and instead of building the bastion, they built the spire. Ragnar the Learned squints as he looks up at its rise. Like it just goes on forever, sir, damn near right to the clouds. You enter with a map and a few men. Inside, you find a glass sphere sitting on a hollowed lectern. Inside the bulb sit some powdery remains, perhaps the last issuance of magic you know not. Your intuition tells you that whoever dwelled in this slender refuge does not always take the stairs, but you'll have to. The climb is brutal and long. At the top you find yet another bulb, this one jagged and shattered, and beneath the glass a skeleton. A broken staff lies nearby, so some wizardry was happening. You shake your head and head toward the crenellations. So far are the sights the world itself seems to curve at the horizon. A strange trick of the eye, no doubt. Nah, the world's round. You draw the geography upon your map. Take a 5-minute breather, then descend back down. When you get to the bottom, the skeleton is there with its staff beside it, and the busted bulb is on the lectern. The whole group of men run out of the door, and you're hot on their heels. Looking back, you see the spire's gate slowly close with a mighty metal clang. Well, at least we got a lay of the land. So, nothing happened, sadly. But it's a pretty cool effect when you find it early game, and you get that, and you're like, wow, and you can just kind of see everything. It's pretty cool. But anyway. So let's start heading up to the Grotesque tree, which is something I have no idea what it does. But I saw it and I was like, this has got to be a legendary location. And I looked up a list of the legendary locations and it was on it. So, pretty cool. More goblins. I'm tired of you guys. Y'all bother me. Maybe we'll kill these. I don't know. We want to take fights. We want to pick up loot because we need to sell it. It costs us 868 crowns a day to operate, which is quite a bit. It's only going to get worse. We'll probably be up to 1,000 before this playthrough is over. Our brothers are pretty expensive. So pretty much an extremely similar camp. I'm going to save the game just because we found a legendary location. And at big milestones like that, I personally like to save the game. Okay. We still have injuries. Okay. We want to bring back in Sir Willem. Who do we take out here? Probably Steezy. Steezy's about to level. Let's let him level. Ivar's about to level. Hondo's at 20. Raymond's at 20. Oz, we can keep him in. That's fine. Who do we take out? You know, let's just take out Hondo. That's fine. Okay. Whoa, I think it just like added a shaman at the last second. It sure did. Wow, that's lame. The game was like, no, there's also a shaman. What? Well, I guess maybe there's better chance for more unique loot. I'll take it. There's only 16 of them. I mean, we defeated the Goblin City. There's no... Oh, the difficulty curve from that and this is obscene. And our gear is so much better now than it was back then. We can skirmish with them a bit. I think we'll still bring forward Sir Steinhardt. What can we hit? I want to try and kill just a few of them before we start advancing. Kind of clearing the way, so to speak. And we want to, you know, spread out. Anyone who's not using a shield to block. And when we free them, we make it so that the Overseer, or the Goblin Shaman, wants to kind of target them again. And I think we can also move forward with Arazel and Willem. We just want to keep enough guys here to block from the ranged. And then everyone else needs to pretty much move up. Because I don't think we need more than, you know, 6. We'll bring up Arazel as well. I don't think we need more than these 6 guys to to crush them in melee. Have to expect the nets and the bolas. I was going to say, as long as they don't net Sir Steinhardt, I'll be happy, but then of course they like insta-net him. They're backing themselves up off the hill, and they're throwing out some of the skirmishers to kind of slow us down. Just fine with me. We just have to get the shaman. Man, that was one of our best shots to get him. Yep, I'm going to go around and try and get up in the back line. That is not what I meant to hit. I hit the wrong button. Dang it. And if they're backing up, they're not shooting at me. I can go forward and start engaging. Their archers are backing up too far to shoot at our archers, which is really the only reason I would keep back, my shield bros. Now it's just kind of like a mad dash to see if we can lock down the important targets, the Overseer, the Shaman. I kind of don't expect the Shaman to run. I think he'll stand and try and wrap us up again. And if he does that, he's probably going to die. But the Overseer is way up here on the top of a hill and I can't even see him. Okay, he moved back smartly. And you always want to attack with this Reproach of the Old Gods in a way that allows it to drop the lightning on 3 different targets. We'll use Indomitable here just because they have so much piercing damage. It's going to be pretty annoying. And let us move forward. Break free. Come on. I just need to get in here. So when it comes to Sir Willem's leveling up, I also gave him Indomitable. I think that's an important trait to have on a two-hander. Wow, he just stabbed his buddy in the back. That's awesome. That's what I'm talking about. That's why this weapon is ridiculous. It makes things like that happen. Can't hit anything. We get one closer, but we also descend one. So we don't actually gain any maximum effective range. Down goes the Overseer, which is awesome. We just got to get in on that Shaman. Let's make sure we change out to our hammer before we engage in melee. Now we've got a bit of a surround here on this guy. Maybe Steezy will be able to take him out. Yeah, still a pretty low chance to hit because he's using that shield. Wow, the poison goes down. So the poison, remember, is not the same as the web neck poison, which does damage. This just kind of lowers my stats, which sucks, but isn't like the end of the world. That's what I'm talking about. So we pick up his club. I didn't even bother to see if we picked up something from the Overseer. Probably should have. See if we can get this shot. Boom. Try and lock him down, though it could be difficult with footwork, which I think they still use when they're running. That's all she wrote. Let's cross our fingers for some good loot. I'd love to get some cool stuff on camera. Feel free to drop me any kind of venerable, amazing plates of armor that I can attach Lindworm cloaks to. Because some of our most experienced brothers don't have like the best suits of armor for them, like Hondo. You know, he's got a coat of plates with, you know, the bone plating, which is a great set of armor, but he has battle forged, right? So we want to get him a set of armor that's even stronger than that, something like what Lance is wearing, and then hook it up with the Lindworm cloak. And I have so many bone platings that I may end up just giving Lance the cloak anyway. I probably should have done that already. But I was hoping to get something for Hondo. So Steezy gets that level, which is why we kept him in. And nothing good here, sadly. We may want to start holding on to these gnarly staffs as one-handed maces that we can use in the Witch's Hut fight, which is something that I think is probably going to be one of the last big challenges we tackle in this playthrough. So we got the Spiked Impaler. That's worth knowing. Also, these wooden sticks kind of function the same way, but I'm not going to hold on to wooden sticks. Pick that up. These are their cheap little spears. Trying to make sure we get the most value. If we take another fight, I mean, we'll probably have to sell eventually. And I also don't know if that legendary location gives me anything. So I want to make sure that my inventory is slightly clear. So what happens? Oh, this is our buddies fighting each other and getting in better spirits. We've seen this already. Feel free to pause it and read it if you'd like. But our brother's just kind of getting into a brawl. Another big orc camp. Let's see what kind of things they have. It's honestly not that tough of a fight. Well, it is a tough fight. I'm not going to say that. If our brothers weren't all injured, I would consider taking it. The problem is when you come up to one of these camps and instead of seeing many orc warriors, you see a plethora of orc warriors. Those are the fights that are extremely difficult. I did one a little while ago off camera that was like only 24 orcs, right? And I've done as many as in like the mid-30s in this playthrough. Some of it off camera, but I think one of the ones I showed y'all was like 31 orcs. And that wasn't so bad because it was a lot of orc young and a lot of orc berserkers, which with 5 warbows on the field, or 4 warbows and a crossbow, I could take those guys down pretty quickly before the lines even clashed. But when you have that many orc warriors, I fought a group earlier that was 24 of them, and it was like 16 of them were orc warriors, and you can't do anything to those guys until they get into melee. And once they're in melee, they start tossing you around. I found that to be a much tougher fight than the much larger groups that had a lot of the lower tier orcs. So okay, we should have a space or two clear from food. And I think we're gonna go ahead and man, I still don't know how to like. Yeah, I still don't know how to like drop stuff. But just in case, we'll put these quivers on some of our brothers. It's a nice little neat trick if you have them in your inventory and you want to clear space. It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't weigh anything. I'm not sure if there's ever a point where you can take this out. Like if you're completely out of arrows, you can use that as a trick to kind of like... I don't know why it doesn't let me like combine them. That would be pretty cool as well. But anyway, also we have some nets. Do we have any brothers that could actually hold nets? or usefulness. So Steezy can. We'll do that. We also need to level him. So melee attack is fine. He absolutely desperately always needs fatigue and HP. Okay. Anyone else for the nets? We don't want to give anything to Sir Steinhardt. Ah, the necklace. I did make the necklace and I didn't give it to anyone. That needs to go to Sir Wilhelm, not Sir Wilhelm. Wilhelm the Pimp. And we have some nets there. It's all good. Hondo can use a net. We have a free slot here on Isaac. Could just give him some bolus. It's not terrible. Could do something like that. Also don't really like him having this dagger. He's held on to that for a long time. I don't know if there's anyone better to give it to, though. Not Sir Willem. We'll give this to... We'll give this to Lance as a good alternate weapon for him. Okay, that's probably enough of that. We have inventory space. I'm going to save the game just because I don't know what's going to happen when we do this. We've been in some locations where they straight up gave us riddles. So let's take a look here what this says. The Grotesque Tree. A small clearing in the forest centered around a curious, slender tree. Something seems to be off about this tree, but it is difficult to make out from afar. So let's get in there. Okay. As you approach, you stand at the edge of a forest clearing, and the sight therein beggars belief. A trunk of a human body runs up out of the earth like a slender tree, naked and bristling. Goosebumps for bark, continuing upward until it's twice as tall as yourself. There are no branches, there are no hands. There are instead a series of human heads bound in a bunch where a tree crown should be. From left to right, there are babyish and beautifully present, ambiguously sexless, malformed creations of time, it seems, where the shadows they themselves author turn their faces from one's oddly familiar to strangely naive. What a sentence! As they stare about as though they knew not how they got there, and seem ever ready to ask it of you. It reminds you of a drowning you happened upon, the face contorting beneath a running river water, the flesh suffering nothing short of constant conjecture as to what put it there. Whispers sift in from the trees. They rifle over the ground as if spoken by the bugs, and they clamber up your arms until they scratch at your very ears. They ask you to stay. Huh. So I'm guessing if I run away, it just like ruins it, right? I don't want to run away. I want to see what this is. So let's check it out. Upon entering the clearing, the bizarre creature straightens up. It's a creature. Ugh. I was hoping it wasn't fully like alive. Swaying its heads from side to side like a peacock readying a display, they speak to you. The elder, yes, here, yes, him. We know him, we knew. The faces warp and discolor as though blemished in the wake of the words, leaving their very mouths. Slowly they reform to speak again, a grotesque panoply, puncturing itself one head at a time. Drink little, heal all. Drink all, become one. Ugh. You look down to see an earthen overhang curving across a puddle the size of a plate. There's a faint trickle as water drips into it from the overhang, and from where that water comes is anyone's idea. You look up to see the faces looking down, their appearances molding from anguish to happiness to surprise to fear to confusion. Familiar, always familiar. Drink little, yes, No, drink all. Looking back down, you take out your water skin and pop the cork. So our options are, I'll just take a little or I'll drink it all. Drink little, heal all. Okay, so we heal. What do we heal though? Drink all, become one. Drink little, yes. No, drink all. So I'm leaning towards drinking a little. Hope I'm making the right choice. I don't know what this does. I'll just take a little. I gain a water skin. You crouch beneath the grotesque tree. The heads sway downward, the shade coming with them as though someone were placing the lid upon a basket. When you look up, the stare from a foot away, rippling and forever moving. Yet one on the far end is very still. Its face is stuck on an old man's grimace. The brow furrowed, the jowls taut, the elderly lines ever creased, as if the fury was holding upon itself like a well-crafted sword. A bulb of darkness surrounds it, the penumbra pulsing, as if the head was staring in from another world altogether. Hands firm, you take the water skin and pour out its contents. Emptied, you put it beneath the dripping overhang and listen to each drop hit its bottom. The faces lean in ever closer, surrounding you in a cone of chaos. As they draw near, you can hear the tearing of their reality as they come to and fall out of shape. The water skin shakes in your hand as if you had to hold it against the surge of a waterfall. You yank it out from the overhang, and as you tumble backward, you realize the heads have long since reared upright. Rolling over, you crawl away to your feet and run out of the clearing. Seemingly safe, you look back to see the creature is gone. There is nothing there at all. No tree, no fountain. The water skin, however, remains. Best keep this somewhere safe. Let's get a description on that. So it heals. A leather water skin filled up with the liquid from under a bizarre human-shaped tree. It whispered in your head that you should drink it to heal. Will remove all temporary or permanent injuries, as well as the old, addicted, exhausted, and hangover traits and status effects. I think we only have one permanent injury, and it's Oz. We have a maimed foot. Old, I think, is something that Steezy will end up getting, in addition to his other horrible traits as a retired soldier. I think they usually eventually get the old trait if you have them long enough. Huh. Okay. So, I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. We just get to, for free, get rid of the maimed foot on Oz. Let's do it. How does it work? Let's maybe take that off. Is that how it works? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to figure it out. Yes, and down goes the main foot. Wow. Pretty cool. I mean, Oz is an okay character. He's still, he kind of sucks a little bit in some ways. He needs more resolve. And his, range skill isn't great, which is why he uses a crossbow. But other than that, I mean, that's a pretty awesome event that just happened. At the very least, they just made it so that I can use Oz again without feeling, like I'm being cheated in a way. Let's give him back his bill hook. I gave him a dagger to try and help him with his fatigue. But if he's going to be in our party, he needs to have that. So that was pretty cool. I'm a little blown away. Reading that description was a little bit disturbing, but very interesting. Our inventory is also very full. I'm not interested in taking fights where I can't profit. 7 unhold though. That won't fill up our inventory. That's perfect. That's the exact type of fight I would like to take. Let's go kill some unhold as we end today's video. If we can catch them. I really don't want to fight them in the woods if I don't have to. So let's see if they can give us an opening in the clearing. Come on, buddies. More unhold? Okay. This might just be some unhold slaying. We have a pretty sweet unhold killing crew. I love having as many arrows or many archers as possible. They do a lot of the DPS and let you focus fire them down before they can heal. But our front line is pretty strong as well. I also feel like I should have saved the game after seeing that location. But I don't feel in too much danger. But I also feel like I want to lock these guys down before they jump in on me. Good shots there from Varandox. Get a little surround going on this guy, and then we'll start feeding him the lightning. I'm not sure if they can reach us, if they'll have initiative. I think they will. Kind of like moving in there. And Steezy will pop that on him just because he has such low that we just, I don't know what's going to happen. I really just don't want him to get hit though. And the Reproach of the Old Gods did so much damage there, but they're going to heal a lot of it up, which is why you really have to focus fire these dudes. We should be able to kill one of them fairly easy. Okay, he healed. And we used Indomitable there quite a bit. Because we knew how this was going to go. Oh, Steezy, come on, man. Alright, let's focus down this unhold if we can. And Indomitable, of course, reduces the chance that we're going to get injured. So. Well, I don't know if it reduces the chance that we'll get injured. That was a poor way to phrase that. It lessens the amount of damage that we take to the body. And reduces the chance that we'll be stunned and things like that. That does a lot of damage. He healed up. Ugh. That's a big fight. Steezy's just missing left and right, fortunately. Yeah, we could definitely work on their morale if we're able to actually kill them in a timely fashion. That was good. Focusing is super key. We're focusing this one and we're focusing this one at the moment. Probably honestly would have been better just a shield wall with Willem. His damage is not going to be relevant. Hammer comes out. Alright, Steezy, don't miss this. Good. Let's smack this dude in the head, and we get it. Are we getting any good loot? We're getting bones, hide. Go this way so these other guys can move in without being blocked. Make sure we're getting in there nice and tight, that way we can shoot. You'll see sometimes the lightning doesn't always hit. And let's definitely shield wall. Like, we've got this fight in the bag, no reason to take ridiculous risks. These two-handed weapons are just so good against them. Get a nice surround. Into him. Give us anything? We're getting a heart from him. Always a little bit surprised by how like strong their morale is. Near complete surround there. So now the real question is, you know, this is going over, we're over an hour right now, which is fine. But do I go and take on the other unhold fight? I kind of want to, but we don't really need the crafting materials. It would just be for experience. And for fun. Bill hook. Love that. Being able to shoot and then whip out a bill hook and still attack with it. So strong. Alright, we get a bunch of hide. So I think we're in a good spot now that we can just make... See, this is 8 of them. We'll just leave them alone. We're in a good spot now that we can just make a bunch of quivers and dog armor and stuff. Really get ourselves kitted up for the final battle. Let's... Man, I kind of want to head down to Suitfest. That's a long walk, though. But guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. I'm happy that I could show you the 2 legendary locations and a couple cool fights. And I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed with our current progress. Nice to know that it's there. And that we're almost there, guys. We're almost to the point where I think we're going to be able to take on the Black Monolith. The approach of the Old Gods is going to be key. And just being able to stand and fight. I know there are going to be elements to this fight where having ranged is going to be valuable. But I may end up going with a very melee-centric build. Kind of very similar to what I have now, perhaps. I want to just kill a couple brigands for the experience. Anybody close to leveling? Ivar. Ooh, Steinhardt's close to leveling. That's very good. So is Willem, the pimp. Yeah, every level right now is pretty important. Let's get to Simptonburg and see what we can sell at. So we're almost there. Only 2 major fights left for this playthrough. And I've been considering whether or not we should get involved with another campaign before Warriors of the North comes out. And I'm not so sure. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments section. There's still a little bit ways off from that. This place pretty bad prices. Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, these are horrible prices. We don't want to sell anything here. I love to give you guys the satisfaction of watching me get rich. So let's. Suitfest has pretty much always had consistently good prices. So let's just head to Suitfest. It's also kind of my staging point for the Black Monolith fight. It's kind of the closest city. It's also a major city. It's got an armor. So the little excursion cost me a few thousand crowns just in walking. Okay. What are the prices like here? I think they're great. Check the shields. 18. Yeah, that's pretty fine. Where were we at? Like 18,500. Probably have a few things we could have repaired for a bit more, but not really necessary. I will hold on to the gnarly staff. We're going to sell the two-handed flange mace. I, of course, now have a better one. We picked up 2 spiked impalers. Let's sell 2 of them. We already have 1 in reserve. Get rid of those. We don't need rings. Alright. So, you know, we made about 5k. That's not bad. And we want this dog. We want that dag. Get some cheese. We kind of just need to buy everything. 7 days. It's not terrible. But there goes a huge amount of our crowns that we just made. And check the Fletcher. Check the armor. Anything we can't live without in here? Nope. Alright. I was hoping to see some kind of cool armor I could buy at the last second for my hoarding purposes. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Once again, my name is Brett, and my channel is Good Talk Gaming. I hope you're as excited as I am to get over to the Black Monolith. Like I said, I think it'll be tomorrow's or the next day's episode. The next episode you see, it should be me entering the Black Monolith. And whether or not I fail 100 times, I don't know. But we'll have fun, at least in the attempt. And then eventually, we'll get it, guys. So no worries. Alright, y'all. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.